right, back again. The Commish radio show powered by Legal Standpoint.
Oh, I like that.
There we go.
Powered by.
There we go. There we go. There you go. With Michael J. Todd.
Yeah, Michael J. Todd, not
That's
Michael
right.
G. Todd.
Man, I
don't even know what's going on, man. We've been together how long?
But you know the reason why? I had it messed up.
But I'm saying we've been together so long,
but
man.
you know the reason why? I got the Fred Sanford with all these doggone glasses on and everything. But when I put these on, they make me look like Joseph Biden, and I just started messing up stuff.
Wait a
man.
minute, you really think you look like Joseph Biden with those on?
Let's ask Gabe.
I don't think so.
Gabe said, "Man, what a day, man." He's like my dude in Training Day. At the end,
right.
What a day.
What a day.
What a day. What a day. What a day. What a week.
It's
man.
been a week. Man, last Saturday, I wake up, roll over at some point, and I see something on the news where they say black folks getting shot at the Tops grocery store in Buffalo. I mean, and of course you start clicking on your phone, refreshing to try to see what's going on. And they've got this dude dressed out like paramilitary outfit. He's got his AR-15, backup pistols, all types of stuff, going through just slaughtering people. I mean, is this 2022?
That's what I told you before.
Is it 2022 or is this 1922?
That's what I told you before.
Which one is it?
I mean, it's 2022. We always say this thing.
Yeah.
Right? We always say it. I can't believe this happened. It's 2022.
Well,
last year we were like saying, I can't believe this happened 2021, man.
Well, wait a minute. If anybody's sitting around talking about, I don't believe this happened, then that means that person has not been aware of what's been going on in this country. Nobody should say that.
They ain't aware, man.
Well, how could they not be? In 2019, we had 23 people that were killed at the Walmart in El Paso, right here in the great state of Texas.
The great state of Texas.
Great state of Texas. 23 people. 23 primarily Hispanic individuals.
Because they were Hispanic.
Hispanic. Talking about what? The great replacement theory once again, where they say that individuals such as what they call themselves native born. I mean, I don't even understand.
I'm native born.
Yeah, I'm native born too. So what are they talking about? But they say native born Texans, native born Americans are being replaced by people of color and immigrants. That's their concern. I mean, and they use this as a basis to get all jazzed up, full of hate, to go out and kill people. That was 2019, Ed. So how could someone not say that they see this coming in 2022? I'm not understanding that.
Well, I think a lot of this goes around with what I had said previously, was that we ended up having a black president, so all this stuff had to disappear, man. Racism is dead, man. Didn't you get the memo?
Well, I heard people saying that. I heard people saying that.
It was placed out on a tweet in black and white, so you had to read it, right?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe it was that Bush just did so bad that they thought that the black dude couldn't do any worse.
Well, there you go.
Maybe that's what they thought.
But you know what's the troubling thing about that is I see a pattern that's clearly existed for a long time, and we need to let people realize what's going on with
Yeah,
this.
without a doubt. I mean, and it has been a pattern. I know over the past hour you've been going through some of the massacres that have occurred, over time.
Yeah, because you have a brother reading, like I don't read enough. But
Right,
hey,
right. But the thing is that when you look at this, there are certain elements that are always present that kind of incentivize individuals to go out and do this type of conduct.
Like what?
Okay, well, one thing that we always see on this situation is that you always have some kind of campaign to demonize black folks, or to demonize Mexicans, or to demonize immigrants or whatever. If you remember when Trump first started, right?
Right.
The first thing he was talking about was what? Muslims. We need to keep all Muslims out of the country. What's going on with these Muslims? This, that, and the other. And we started seeing an uptick of what? violence and actions against Muslims, right? He gets in the office and then he starts talking about MS-16 or 13 or whatever. He starts talking about, and even before office, he starts talking about immigration. These Mexicans, they're drug dealers, they're rapists. I guess some of them are good people.
I guess.
I
don't know.
I don't know, right? So what is he doing? He's demonizing those individuals once again. The George Floyd protest started, right? Black folks, white folks, Hispanic folks, all types of folks are a part of these demonstrations. And what happens with respect to Trump? He then starts to demonize black folks. When the looting starts, we start shooting.
When the looting
right?
starts, we shoot.
We shoot. And then we start hearing about things from books that are coming out now, how during George Floyd, he wanted to do what? Authorize the military to come in. Authorize the military to start shooting folks in the legs. We saw he cleared the park in front of the courthouse, in front of the White House, so he could do what? Have a book opportunity, right? So one thing that we've seen over time is that we see this demonization of black folks. You know, I was looking at the massacre, and you may have talked about this, in Wilmington, North Carolina, back in 1898. And folks were mad at that point because you had free black folks after Reconstruction who joined an alliance with poor white folks, and they started voting and winning elections. And they had a little pact called the Fusion Agreement or Fusion Party. Well, the Democrats at that time were all white, and they didn't like that. So what did they do? They started a media campaign demonizing black folks, saying that you're now there were 3 times white folks that were in the Fusion Alliance. So the black folks were outnumbered 3-1 in the Fusion Alliance. However, the Democrats was telling everybody you're now being led, or you're now being instructed by Negroes. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
To demonize them. So that's always one of the common plays that they have. They're going to demonize people, right? Make you scared of them, things of that nature. And that's going on today, just like it is with respect to back then. And we've given the examples that they're talking about. A second element that I've noticed in this, Ed, is that when they demonize you, they just don't stop with making you a bad person. The next thing they want to do then is that they have to have somebody that they're trying to protect. So they have a competing interest with respect to protecting my own versus taking action against these folks that are being demonized. You follow what I'm saying?
Correct.
So back using that Wilmington example, you know what they started doing then? They demonized the black folks, then they started saying, oh, they want your women.
They said that?
Oh yeah, they had all in the media. Oh, they want your women. They trying to take the white women, things of that nature. Now you know what? They had this one brother. I think his last name was Manley. This one brother had his own little printing press, his own black newspaper, right? And so he wrote a retort to that when they were trying to demonize.
He didn't say we didn't want your women. He didn't say that.
No, he didn't say that. You know what he said?
Because that gets you in trouble either way.
Oh, but he went the other side, but it got him in trouble. It got him in trouble.
Either way.
You know,
that's like a trick deal. That's like some things you just don't say anything about.
I know, but you know what? This brother must have had a little gumption about it back in the day. Because this is 1898. So he printed out, he said, hey, look, man, y'all sitting up here trying to say all black guys are just big brutes and, bullish looking dudes, this, that, and the other. He said, y'all need to come to grips that some of these white women just find us attractive.
I told you. Either way. So he was lynched, obviously, was he not?
The Democrats, right?
I know there's a story behind this.
They, after the election, that they still didn't have control over the government, but they got together and they massed together with guns and stuff, and they gave old boy 24 hours to get out of town. And old boy, he took that 24 hours and he got out of town.
And he was never heard of him.
Never heard of him again. They destroyed his place. But the fact
That was where? In
Wilmington, North Carolina. And guess what? They said there were about 1,100 black folks that lived in that town. Guess what? Every last one of them had to leave.
In Wilmington, North Carolina?
In Wilmington, North Carolina.
So it's ethnic cleansing.
Ethnic cleansing.
Gone.
Just like that.
So when America talks about in other countries ethnic cleansing, they just conveniently overlook the fact that they've done it before.
Oh yeah, and you
Not to mention the indigenous Americans who were.
Oh right. And guess what? And when you speak truth to power, guess what? Then they want to come down on you. Remember Andrew Young back in the 1970s or 80s came out and said that America had plenty of political prisoners. I think he was the ambassador to the UN at the time.
Right.
Oh, what'd they do? They came down on him for what? Speaking the truth. All the civil rights workers were political prisoners. They were just being rounded up.
That's true.
Yeah, so I mean, so what, that's just what the situation is. But those are two things that I've kind of seen in those situations as I've just looked and just gave a curse review. I'm not saying I'm an expert on massacres or anything, but I have been kind of reading up on it. That seems to be some things that are present when they're trying to trigger people to move forward. I looked at today because, sometimes when I talk to some of my friends who are not black, they say, oh man, black folks, man, sometimes y'all just overreacting to stuff, man. Stuff ain't that bad, man. Come on.
After all, because you have black quarterbacks playing in the NFL.
Right, yeah.
So it can't be that bad.
You had a black president, black quarterbacks.
Come on.
Right? Yeah, come on, man.
And I understand you even have black astronauts now.
Yeah. So it can't be that bad.
Can't be that bad.
But you know what? The
you
thing
got a
is
black
this.
billionaire or two? Come on.
Yeah. But Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah. What they say in Do the Right Thing? Oh, Kobe. Michael. And,
exactly.
They ain't black.
They ain't black.
Yeah. But the thing is this. In the Washington Post today, something interesting came out here. There was a poll that came out that took a survey of like 860 black folks, right? May have been 836, around that number, all right?
I love the way lawyers always come in. You just got to be exact, right? 836?
It may have been 836. I can't remember. But it was 800 something.
But you picked 36 out of all the numbers, and you didn't go like, 850. You said 836.
Well, you know what?
It's probably 836 because you said
what? You know what? I am so sorry, man.
What?
It was 806.
Okay. 806. Okay, we got you.
All right. So anyway, but the fact of the matter is this. When they went and asked questions as it relates to black folks, right? Nearly 8 out of 10 black Americans say that we fear there will be more racist attacks after the Buffalo shooting.
Well, I feel that way. I'm in that number.
Right. Yeah, I'm in that number too. Okay. But people tell us, oh, y'all tripping, why you even getting all into this, things of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is that that's what people feel, all right? And when we see that, when we see these type of actions and they're not being taken seriously by all, then it just kind of really makes you feel as if, we're not in a situation that's safe. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, let's play, advocate, devil's advocate, so to speak, on this. What makes you think that black people should be immune from just mass shootings when it happened in Las Vegas, where a white guy just targeted people? Perhaps this guy was just targeting people and just happened to be that he picked a black neighborhood in the zip code, and he just happened to have a manifesto that was against these things, and he had a mental illness as well.
Well, you know what, Ed? Now I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to let that go by. The whole mental illness thing, because you know what? There are people out there, and I had a good conversation with a black Republican this week, right?
You had a good conversation.
We had a conversation. All right.
So it went from good to just having a conversation.
Well, we had a conversation.
Okay.
We had a conversation because
Okay.
we have conversed before, and so when the whole Buffalo thing came up, we talked about it again.
Okay. So what did he say?
And you know what, man? It was so crazy. Now, he has acknowledged to me in the past that there are instances of discrimination with respect to the police, things of that nature, right? Even as a Republican. And he's a strong Trump Republican, right? So when I brought up the whole,
It's one in every family.
yeah, there's one in every family.
You just gotta pray for him.
So when he brought this up, you know, he says, "Oh man, the dude was just mentally ill." I was like, you know what, man, I'm not even gonna take that as an answer.
See, I told you that's what's I always said.
Right, because my thing is this, and what I looked at, he had already acknowledged to me in previous conversations that there was discrimination, right? And we all know that there have been lynchings. So I looked at him and I said, well, are you telling me that everyone over history that participated in a lynching, that sat there in the hundreds of thousands watching people being lynched, people being killed for no reason, that all those people were just mentally ill? Is that what you're telling me? And he, well, you know what? We got to finish this up later. I don't have time right now, Mike. But the thing is this: it's not mental illness. It is hatred. It is individuals who have been groomed to hate people for no other reason than their appearance, how they look. So from that standpoint, I'm not even going to ever accept someone saying that this was some mental illness, because it's not. It's a homegrown problem, one that we got to address. We got to address.
Well, how do you address it?
Well, you address it by a lot of different ways. Okay. You know, the thing is that, I mean, when you say how do we address it, we're getting down to solutions, okay? And the same solutions are the things that we've talked about for what?
As you discreetly look at your watch.
Right. The things that we've talked about for long periods of time. You got to vote. You got to be able to go to the courthouse and to prosecute cases that you have. And one thing that really stuck out with me, you know, with respect to this particular case, is that, of course, we know this occurred in Buffalo.
Right.
Right? And Buffalo is in what state, Ed?
New York.
New York, all right? And if you remember on a previous episode of Legal Standpoint, we had a discussion. We brought in Mark Tolliver, who is a handgun trainer and expert. And we talked about firearms, the Second Amendment, and things of that nature. Remember, we had that discussion. What really hit me as we were talking about this particular case, or as I was thinking about what had happened, is that there was a case before the Supreme Court this session that dealt with handguns in New York. In New York City, unlike in Texas, in the state of New York, unlike Texas, right? If you wanted to carry your handgun around with you, you had to get a permit. Now, this permit says for you to be able to receive this handgun permit to carry your weapon around with you, that you have to be able to show a special circumstance of why you need this gun. Well, what's happening is that people put in for these applications, and no matter what you say,
It gets denied.
it gets denied. So you don't have any right to bear arms as it relates to the state of New York. So this case, and we talked about this previously, but this case is before the Supreme Court. We'll probably be getting a decision coming down on it within the next 2 or 3 weeks. But let's think about how that law affected what happened in Buffalo. Now, you've got the little racist boy doing all his research.
Now, hold on a second. We don't know whether or not he's racist.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, okay, you know what? I'll
Come on.
retract that.
Come
we
on.
have the alleged, alleged little racist boy. Okay.
Let me be the devil's advocate, if you will.
Okay.
Mike, we don't know whether or not he's white. We don't know what's in his heart. You go ahead.
Well, you know what? We have the alleged racist boy doing his research. So he knows, of course, he's from New York. He knows the restrictions of New York. The thing is this, in that Tops grocery, the only person that was able to sit there and to have some type of defense with respect to him was the security guard.
Right. Former Buffalo policeman.
Former Buffalo policeman. Now, if that law hadn't been there, or if individuals would be able to receive a special needs permit without having to jump through a lot of hoops, then you could have had other people that could have defended themselves there in that store.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on now. Now, are you proposing that black people all carry guns and go to places like this, so when something happen like that, everybody's packing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. And you know what? And I've said this before. Up until the year of 2020, I had never bought a gun in my life. Never. Up to 2020, I had only shot a gun one time in my life, 18 years before 2020. So that would have been what? 02? Okay, 2002. But I saw everything that was going on with talking about the Muslims, the Mexicans, the killing in El Paso, and all of these things. And I saw what was happening, what was being ginned up in this country.
Okay.
And so what I decided at that point is I was going to go and buy me one firearm so I could defend myself. And of course, I went through all the training. Mark Tolliver was one of my trainers. Went out there, practiced a lot, and actually, as I started shooting, I really kind of enjoyed it.
And when we come back after these breaks, because we're at the 20-minute mark, we will ask that age-old question.
What is that?
How many guns do you actually own? Let's play that. All right, let's roll with a couple of drops.
Hi, my name is Gail Todd.
Stunning information about how you can handle these things, and basically what it's only appropriate today because at Pan-African Connection in Oak Cliff, Texas, they're celebrating Malcolm X's birthday, and Malcolm X was one of the individuals who was about self-defense of African Americans, and what we're talking about is self-defense of African Americans right now in these United States. And this is something that a lot of people have proposed, but when it comes to black people defending themselves, they oppose.
Right,
so,
right.
So they propose it, yeah, everybody else, but then black people start talking about carrying guns, and it's it. Ironic, this is the deal. In Grand Prairie, Texas, at one of the stores in Grand Prairie, it was being robbed. And this happened within the last 2 weeks. It was being robbed, and I saw it on Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app, and the gentleman said that it was being robbed, so he escorted some people out of the back, and the people that was in the front were being robbed. But one of the individuals at the front that was being robbed, the store was being robbed, was packing. Mm-hmm. And he ended up shooting the robber, and that was the end of the story.
Right. Well, the thing is this. I mean, you know, I'm a strong proponent now of if it's going to be well, let me back up. Let me just say this. If I'm in the store and something breaks out, like at the Tops, right? Mm-hmm. And if I'm in that store, then I'm at a shooting. Because number one, I have nothing to protect myself. And the only thing I can do is try to run to keep from being shot. That's a shooting, Ed. If I'm going to be in a situation like that, I don't want to be in a shooting. I want to be in a gunfight where I can at least, now, I'm not trying to be, one-man police force. I'm not trying to run around and, just, be superhero or anything. But if it's a situation where someone has placed you in that predicament where you're fearful for your life because they're shooting up the place where you are, then I would like to be able to at least have something to say, hey, look, that I could at least fire back, maybe just make to get escape or whatever. But the thing is this, what we have to do, as black folks, we all always get caught up, we get into the narrative as it relates to, well, we need to ban the guns. The guns ain't going to be banned.
Wait a minute, hold on. You don't think they're not going to be banned?
They are not. This country is awash in guns.
You can't take away nobody's guns.
You can't take away all these guns. You can't do it.
They say everyone in America basically has 3 guns.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now, that's one of these, I don't know who's the person who's counting them.
Right.
But, they said if all of the Americans had, how many Americans there are, but if that's the amount of guns, that we have enough guns that they can count. Right. Theoretically,
if I'm
3
not
times over. Everyone in America would have a gun 3 times over.
I read something. I read an article. It's been.
But who's doing the counting, and how did they figure that out?
Well, the way they try to figure it out is they try to figure it out based upon how many background checks have been done.
Oh.
So what happens when you go in to buy a gun?
Legally.
You have to, yes, legally, you have to do a background check. And so what they do is they look at it, how many background checks have been done versus how, to try to establish how many guns were sold. But the thing is this, if I go into the store and buy 5 guns at one time, they only run 1 background check.
Man, they ain't gonna let you buy 5 guns.
What do you mean? You can buy 5 guns if you want to.
Mike, I know you lighter than me and everything, but you can't get away with that.
You can.
You got Gabe laugh.
You can buy 5 guns.
Producers laugh.
Man, I know. I have met guys, man, who have over 100 guns.
Really?
Over 100.
People listening to us at home, we want you to just be cool, still share it, but watch. If you share it, we'll see how many times Facebook will try to have it deleted. So we want you to share it. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, so you got people who got all types. You cannot get rid of them. So the thing is this: we as black people historically have been programmed to say, "Oh, we don't, we shouldn't have a gun."
Wait a minute, we got to pray about this, Mike.
Yeah, we have to pray about everything.
Mike,
we have to pray about everything.
Come on, Mike, come on.
We have to pray about everything.
No, we got to pray about this, Mike.
We do. We do. We have to pray about everything.
Prayer answers a lot of things.
It does. It does. But you know what? Prayer also can answer. God provides implements to you. It allows what? Different diseases to be attacked by new developments.
You know what? That's a good point, because all my research and everything we done, and it was like Dr. Martin Luther King. That's the whole deal too. We always talk about nonviolence, right?
Right, but he always had a gun. I just read an article about that today.
And Daddy King sure enough had a gun.
Right.
His father had one. And his deal was, he said, my son is nonviolent. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Well, wait a minute. Let me tell you this. I just read this today. King applied for a gun permit after his house had been burned down. Right? There were threats to his life. They said that he had to show a special need, and they said he didn't meet the special need qualification.
Just like the people in Buffalo.
Just like the people in Buffalo or in the state of New York. Okay.
So what we have is justice being applied not equally here. Then, if that's the case, so you.
Well, the thing is this.
But that's the same way I feel about if you was to go ahead and try to get 5 guns, man. You can't get no 5 guns.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand. I don't even understand the basis of you saying I couldn't.
Well, I'm just saying, man. Just saying. You black, man. That's gonna set up a flag.
Hey, man. You can go buy 5 guns if you legal. You can buy 5 guns.
Okay.
Okay. But this is the point. The point is this.
This is going to get a lot of views, man. Because
if you look at
radical stuff, talking about black people buying guns and stuff.
Well, this is the thing. If you look at it historically, and that Supreme Court case that I talked about, there is an organization called the National African American Gun Association, and they filed an amicus curiae brief for this lawsuit that's before the Supreme Court. And what that means, friend of the court. We want to give our view of things to help you make a decision on what's going on.
You saw me look at the
Yeah,
camera.
I saw you looked at the camera.
Yeah.
So the thing is this. I've read the brief, and it's a good brief. And what it does, it goes through historically and talks about how laws have been implemented to keep people from having, and when I say people, I'm talking about black people, from having guns. Back in the day, way before the Civil War, right? Of course, the law said that black folks, the slaves, nor free men could have guns,
Wait a minute, hold on. Black people, which
which would be slaves. This is before the Civil War. Or free men,
black free people,
black free
people of color.
could not have a gun.
So if you're a free person of color, you couldn't have a gun
You couldn't have a gun.
to protect yourself.
Couldn't have. And guess what? That's the same way it was after the Civil War when they came up with the black codes. They would say, okay, all the white folks can have guns, right? Black folks, for y'all to have a gun, y'all got to get the permit from Mr. Charlie. Now, of course, Mr. Charlie wasn't given a permit. So black folks didn't have guns. So what would happen, Ed, when you have these Ku Klux Klanners, these red shirts, right? All of these vigilante groups, no, let me go back. Not vigilante, all these terrorist groups who were taking black folks' lives and property. Black folks couldn't even raise up a gun to shoot them back. So what it did, it just hampered you from being able to protect your life and the lives of those that you love. Now, how is that right?
Well, it's not right.
It's not right.
And so that explains in this situation where they say, as I stated, how many people in Wilmington, North Carolina were killed? Hundreds. How many
Right.
people in Slocum, Texas? Hundreds. How many people in Tulsa? Hundreds.
Right.
They had no way to
They had
protect
no way
themselves.
they had no way to defend themselves. And so what we do is we have this situation where black folks over the years, where it was against the law for black folks to really have a gun, and now you hear people say, oh, well, you shouldn't have one. Oh, man, don't do that. You're just going to get in trouble. You know, all that's going to do is just bring about some stuff. You know, we got to get away from that. Now, mind you, in no way am I advocating any offensive type conduct with respect to firearms. None at all.
I like the way you lawyered up on that.
Right. None at
You-
all.
You did that. Say that again for the cameras.
Right. Yeah. I'm not advocating any offensive like conduct. I'm not saying we need to amass a militia of 50,000 black folks with guns.
All right. So Facebook, you heard that. He said he wasn't doing it. He wasn't doing that.
No, I'm not doing anything
But
like
we
that.
still want everybody that's listening right now to share it. Gabe, we want you to pull this up and share it.
So, but what we need to be able to do is be able to defend ourselves in situations that occurred just like last Saturday with respect to Brooks. To the Tops. To the Tops place.
But you know, when I hear this narrative, and this narrative has always been played, and we're always defenseless on that, and that's the reason why I've been going back and forth with you on this about we need to pray up and everything like that, which clearly we do. But the narrative is always set that we will continue to be defenseless. We have to pray about it. We have to. There's no one articulating it like it would be when other people get killed or there's a massacre, that if everyone had a gun, and I'm not saying everyone should have a gun, because clearly some people shouldn't.
Right.
But, you know, when it comes down to that, defending yourself is never placed into the argument, if you will.
You're
It's
right.
just
Well, but I think it's because of the historical badge that has been applied to black folks having firearms. You know, the NRA, back when the Black Panthers decided that they were going to take their firearms to the Capitol in California, the NRA was down with the law being passed to exclude those guns or to limit guns.
Wait, but hold on a second.
The NRA.
The NRA is the group of people who always say everyone should have a gun.
That's correct.
Well, you mean to tell me, Mike, that
But the Black Panthers.
When the Black Panthers said they had guns.
Oh, then the NRA was good with limiting them to have guns.
So you mean the NRA actually took guns out of people's hands?
Yeah.
Well, the black people.
Well, yeah, the black folks.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. I mean, if you wanted gun control.
So what they were really saying before it became popular, put a hashtag out, they said black guns don't matter, so they took them up.
Right. That's correct. And that's what has been going on historically for years and years. So, I love Joe Biden. Joe Biden's my man. I voted for Joe Biden.
That's why I have these glasses.
Hey, I'll vote for him again. I love Obama. I'm a Democrat. But I tell you what, I'm not calling up any congressperson talking about we need to do some gun control right now.
All right, man. Let's stay focused, man.
No, I'm just saying.
Stay focused. We don't want to talk about Texas politics now.
Well, how's that Texas politics?
Because it's all some people running for office and everything talking about guns and taking guns out of people's hands and stuff.
Oh, you talking about Beto?
I wasn't going to say that. You said that.
Well, but I think Beto has reformulated his position.
Oh, he's running for governor.
Yeah.
So he's running for president. He's taking guns away. He's running for governor of the state of Texas. He said, I was just playing.
Well, just like Obama evolved on the same sex, I'm sure Beto has to an extent. But the thing now is, as black people, now is not the time.
Now's not the time,
to
take guns away from people?
To try to pass guns. Look at it. I saw there was some proposed legislation by the U.S. Congress last year in 2021. And they were talking about setting up some type of situation that you had to get your gun registered, that if I sold a gun to you, Ed, that I had to go to like a third party, like dealer, to do the paperwork and things of that nature. All right? Now, the legislation sounds good because we're just saying, hey, look, we're trying to do a background check on everybody. And on top of that, by going to the third party, it cuts out private deals with respect to selling firearms. Well, this was a problem I had with it, though. Let's say that I got my gun from my uncle. He sold it to me, right? Mm-hmm. And I get pulled over, all right? And then they say, okay, did you get a background check with respect to this particular firearm? And then I'm like, well, yeah, I did. And they say, well, do you have the paperwork with you? No, I don't. So what are they going to do? They would be able to do. They'd be able to confiscate my weapon, maybe charge me at that point for possession of a firearm without the without the proper papers. So when I looked at it, when I saw it, I just said, man, this just sounds like another end around. And there were good-meaning people who were proposing this. I think James Clyburn was one of the sponsors of this legislation. There are good-meaning people, but as a criminal defense lawyer, I just saw it as an opportunity for them to start arresting more black folks.
Oh, yeah. You get busted, man.
Yeah, so I didn't.
The minute you say, I don't, is the minute they say, I will.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't think that was a good solution. And I wouldn't call up, my new congressman to be like Jasmine Crockett and say, I need you to support this.
Well, that'd be good. One of the things that I want to mention, since we're getting people to just chime in right here, and let's see, Eric Wilson said, guess who was the largest purchasers of firearms and ammo during the pandemic?
Black folks.
Black folk?
Black folks. Yeah, black folks start buying guns.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, dude, you're looking at what's happening all around.
During the pandemic?
You know what? I saw.
So we weren't just storing up on peanut butter or nothing like that. We were storing up on
guns and ammo.
Guns and ammo.
I was at the gun range back in 2020, and I saw a brother that I went to high school with. I hadn't seen this brother in years, and so he's out there and he's shooting and stuff, and I'm shooting. And then, it was a range break where you go down and look at your target and see how it is. We were shooting on the 100-yard course. And so as we walked down there, he looks over at me. He said, Mike, what got you, involved with shooting, man? And I just looked over at him and I just said 2 words,
All right, we want you guys to share this. That's all we're gonna say on that one. I think it's time for us to do another break. We're at 5:40. And, you know, that's what we always do, 20, 40, and 60. You say, dude, I'm always on point in time. You see, I already know. So what we got is Gabe. Gabe is with us right now. He's a rookie, you know, but, you know, he's doing real well. He's doing real well. You know, I sound like Trump there for a minute. He's doing real well. He's doing real well. So let's go ahead and let's play a couple of drops, man. Hey.
My name is Venton Jones, and I'm here on the state representative in the runoff for House District 100. I'm working to improve our health care, our civil rights and social justice, support for our public education schools, and also our community infrastructure. You can vote on May the 16th through the 20th and on Election Day on Tuesday, May the 24th. Vote Venton Jones for state representative for House District 100.
Hi, my name is Gail Todd with Townview Realtors. If you find yourself in the market to buy, sell, lease, or maybe you want to be a part of this hot real estate market by investing, just give my team of professionals and I a call at 214-675-9572. Again, that's 214-675-9572. Or you can email me at gtodd.
Back again, Commish Radio Show, powered by Legal Standpoint with Michael J. Todd.
You know what? I like that, man.
You like
I
that,
like
don't
that,
you?
man. I like that.
Yeah, you know, powered by.
I like that.
You know, that's
You know,
what
that's
we
one.
say.
That's why I like you, man, because you come up with fresh ideas. You know,
hey,
fresh phraseology. You know,
Huh?
fresh phraseology.
That's a big word, Mike. I can't use that one because I can't.
Oh, come on, brother from Oak Cliff. You know, you.
Hey, you're a brother from Oak Cliff too,
I
man.
know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but we ain't a bunch of brothers from Oak Cliff just talking.
Yeah, I know.
You kind of know our stuff. Man.
Well, we try to.
You know, you got a JD, man. You're a lawyer, man. That's
Yeah.
like, hey, man.
You know.
I got a couple of degrees, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Political science
Yeah,
major.
sociology, all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, man.
Well, talking about sociology, you know, we talked about this this poll earlier about how black folks feel, this, that, and the other. I just wanted to. 3/4 of black people are worried that they or someone they love will be physically attacked because they are black. 32% are very worried. 43% are somewhat worried. 32 and 43, that's 75, Ed. That's 75% of black folks that were polled.
And my daughter, she wasn't attacked, but she called me one day. That's the one who did the play, wrote the play Rage. And she had a shirt that says, "I can't breathe" on it. And she was getting some gas.
Right.
You know, and, before gasoline was up to $4.50, it was at a lower rate then, about $2.50, something back then. A long time ago, right? So anyway, this guy came up to her and said, why are you wearing that shirt, and started harassing her.
Really?
Yeah. And she
Well, what type of guy?
you always want to bring race into it, man.
Well, I'm just saying, was it a brother? I mean, was it a Hispanic brother? Was it a disabled person? I mean, what was it?
They were white.
No, okay. And so they were like agitated because she had "I can't breathe" on my shirt.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
They didn't like it. So did she have to call the police or anything?
Man, why are you interrogating me, man?
Well, I'm not interrogating. I'm just asking questions.
You lawyers always do that, man.
What I'm saying, did it rise to the level that she had to call the police?
Did it rise to the level that she had to call the police?
Right.
You're good at what you do. Yes, it did, counselor.
Did she had to call the police?
She had to call the police.
My Lord. Over a T-shirt.
Over a T-shirt. So I was in that number that you just mentioned. When she called, it was like,
very worried.
Very worried.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I had a little button that used to say, it was a political statement, and it had Trump's name on it, and then it had another word that was above it. And I would always be mindful where I would wear that button.
You didn't wear it to the courthouse, did you?
Oh, no. I never. I wouldn't disrespect the court like that. No.
I love it when you talk legal, Mike.
No,
You say, I wouldn't disrespect the court.
No, I wouldn't disrespect the court.
I have to remember that one.
Hey,
I will not disrespect.
Yeah, I always attempt to govern myself in a socially accepted manner.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes, you just want to say
So
something.
you couldn't wait to wear it once you left the court, right?
Yeah, I wear it a few places, but I didn't want to have the reaction that your daughter had. I didn't want to have to get into something, about that. So, I try to think ahead, even though that was how I really felt.
Yeah. Well,
But, it's but the thing is this, we talk 75% of black folks are worried that they are going to be physically attacked because they are black.
75%. So those people listening on Facebook, if you feel worried that you will be attacked or you're concerned about that, please put it in the contents. We like to use this for one of our future shows and follow up on it. Informal poll, if you will.
Now, one thing though.
What's that?
We talked about how black folks are ingrained, like, we shouldn't have a gun, right?
No, shouldn't have one.
Right. 63% of people polled, black folks, right, felt that access to guns, right, was a factor, a great deal. It was a factor that led to a great deal of hate crimes against black people.
Say that again. I want to make sure everybody understand that.
Most people say access to guns, right, contribute a great deal to people committing hate crimes against black people.
Maybe
63% of people think that.
Yeah, but
I don't agree with that.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think that just because some white guy has a gun or some Hispanic guy has a gun or a black guy has a gun that they're going to commit a hate crime.
We're talking about hate crimes.
It's not about the gun.
No, we're talking
it's about the person.
Now, to be said, if more black people had guns, then we'll play this one.
Okay.
Okay. And I go to places and people, they just throw that out. If more black people had guns, Mike, there'll be more criminals out there, and there'll be more black people committing black-on-black crime.
Oh, that's the craziest thing ever.
Why is that crazy, Mike?
Because if you look at...
We got the stats. The stats clearly state that black people are killing black people. Even black people say it themselves.
But guess what? If you look at the FBI crime statistics, which I have, white folks, 80% or 73%, I believe, of white folks who kill somebody, kill another white person. Same kind of percentage for Hispanics, same kind of percentage for black. If somebody gonna get killed, you usually gonna get killed by somebody you around.
But why are you asking for black people to buy guns so they can kill each other?
Ain't nobody buying a gun to kill each other. What I said is that we need to have firearms to defend ourselves. I never said to do anything that was offensive, right?
That's what you said earlier.
No, I didn't. I said it was I said for defensive purposes.
No, I'm just saying.
For protection.
I'm just restating again. What you did say, that's exactly what you said earlier. That was the mission statement, if you will, earlier.
that
you said.
it was defensive.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the thing is this. What we have to do is, I mean, just because somebody has a gun doesn't mean they're gonna go shoot and kill somebody. I mean, I've got guns, and I haven't shot anybody. I haven't come close to shooting anybody. I don't want. If you actually get a gun and train with that weapon with a trainer, right? Go through the course. I got my handgun license. I went through everything. My wife and I, we went through training all together, right? When you actually see a gun on a regular basis and what it can do, it actually works as a deterrent, because you don't want to shoot anybody. You don't want to, cause that kind of damage to somebody, because they're powerful things, man. And so you have to be responsible with it. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. You have to do those things, because I tell you what, just going to buy a gun, never shooting it, never training with it, and then you just pulling it out and just start shooting at people, oh man, you're a danger to everybody.
Well. Ironically, that begins off one of the, in the chat, it says, Jimmy Corzine says, I've been an advocate for arming myself and my family for many years. Don't get ready, stay ready.
Right. Yeah. Don't get ready, stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
And then Eric writes, and it's in the chat, folks, so if you want to add to it, please add to it. It said, this is a reason why I became a certified LTC. What does that mean?
License to carry.
All right. Okay.
License to carry instructor.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to get the training, because I tell you, guns are dangerous.
Okay. And Cheryl Gillespie says, as she says, she feels worried that she will be attacked. Okay.
It is. I mean, it's bad out here. It's bad out, folks. And you know what? I don't think it's going to get better.
Why would you say that? Things get better, don't they not?
Well, you know what, man? The thing is this. With the agitation that's going on, you have a whole segment of people. There was an article I read about the governor's race in Idaho. And the lieutenant governor was running against the current governor. And this lieutenant governor was a female. And man, she was bats crazy. I mean, they had people, Idaho, that's one of those, survivalist type places anyway. Oh man, they had people talking about armed overthrow. They had people talking about taking over the federal lands. Idaho has one of the highest percentages of federal lands in their state. They were talking about taking over those things. Dude, all of that type stuff is not going to remain in these little pockets of radicalism.
Right.
So we have to make sure that we're able to defend ourselves, and that we'll be able to come together in a positive manner.
All right. So any closing comments before we roll up out of here?
Got to vote. We got an election that's going to be this Tuesday. We got to get out. We got to vote. We have to help these individuals, these organizations that are contesting these voting right acts, lawsuits, anything. We got to be involved, folks. And then on top of that, you got to be able to defend yourself. Frederick Douglass said we have 3 boxes to protect our liberty: the voting box, the jury box, and the bullet box. I don't know about y'all, but I like Frederick Douglass.
All right. And what we'd like for you to do is join us next week on the Commish Radio Show, and we'll be back. We should have, exciting more conversations during this month of May, and we will talk to you later on about these upcoming elections. All right. Gabe, let's play some drops and we're out.
Hi, my name is Gail Todd with Townview Realtors. If you find yourself in the market to buy, sell, lease, or maybe you want to be a part of this hot real estate market by investing, just give my team of professionals and I a call at 214-675-9572. Again, that's 214-675-9572. Or you can email me at gtodd88@yahoo.com. With me, it's all about you.
Hello out there. My name is Byron Williams, former NFL player. I'm with the NFL Players Association.